You're watching the number one podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are Roper. And how's every single one of you? We're ready to talk about, the best show in the WWE. We like this show 1 hour, and I'll tell you this, the first show in such a long time, I never saw a goofy moment. Extremely seriousness from the moment it started to the moment it ended. Really good storytelling, like a lot of things that are hyping up for like the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited to talk about NXT UK.
Yeah, this show is great. It's definitely my favorite show, all week. And like you said, it's, they present it in a serious manner, even though sometimes they like to have fun, maybe a little bit of goofy, like with Pretty Deadly and all that, but they still present it in a serious manner because they feel like the sport of wrestling is legit. On this brand. And other brands, not so much.
Exactly. So family, thank you so very much for being with us. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for, the comments that you give us. Thank you for everything that you do for the channel. We love you all. So, started out, work me through this. Kenny Omega, sets the main event for Revolution, barbed wire death match. So, do you think that's way too much? Or, they need to do that to, sell the pay-per-view?
No, I don't think they need to do it to sell the pay-per-view because the AEW fans are going to tune into this regardless of whether this was just a normal match or whether it was an exploding barbed wire death match. This is just it goes in Jon Moxley's wheelhouse because we have said he can't wrestle a legit wrestling match. So what does he need to do? It needs to be barbed wire, exploding, just kind of he needs to go back to his roots, whether you like those roots or whether you think those roots are tainted. I don't know. That's for you to decide, but it should be an exciting and, like I said in the review, an interesting main event for sure.
Yes, yeah, so be with us for the review. Jean-Paul Egg covers absolutely everything. A pretty average Dynamite, I will say, but let's go to another show that is kind of average outside the main event scene and maybe the tag team women's championship. Adam Cole wants to be the NXT champion again, and he actually starting against the Undisputed Era. Pretty scary moment with Kyle O'Reilly. Supposedly he had a seizure, convulsions and all of that after he got a suplex on the steel step. So another average show, I will say. But of the two, I stay with NXT a little bit, though. I want to stay with NXT a little bit more. What do you think?
Yeah, I think NXT, at least it's, I don't know, it's not all over the place. There's some consistency and stuff going on, and I don't know. Both of these shows are a mess. It's really tough to say, to be honest.
It is really tough. Absolutely right. But thank you again, family. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Let's start with NXT. So your thoughts on this match, because this is what opened the show. Shawn Samuels against the A-Kid for the Heritage Cup. I really like this. Of course they have to go to the 5 rounds, but I really think that they started out really hot and actually they took a big chunk of the show.
Yeah, this was a really great opening match. I love the Heritage Cup rules. Every time we see it, I'm getting more used to it, and I'm liking it a lot more. Not that I ever, disliked it, but I'm getting into it. This is good. Shawn Samuels, to me, I'm going to be honest with you. As I was watching this, I knew he wasn't going to, but I wish he would have won. Now, A-Kid is the more exciting wrestler. I know he's younger. You can market him more because he's, conventionally more attractive than Shawn Samuels. You can be like, oh, yeah, the women, everybody, oh, they love him. But to me, he doesn't have a character. Yeah. At least Shawn Samuels has a character. He has emotion. Just A-Kid is oh, I'm a really good athletic wrestler. And to me, it's I almost wish A-Kid was heel. So he could play off that, oh, I'm young, I'm good looking, screw you guys, blah, blah, blah. He's just a baby face who doesn't really say or do anything character-wise, just a good wrestler. So that's why, to me, it's we need to see more out of him character-wise. Cut promos, talk about stuff, Had that little bit. He had a little bit on the Noam Dar Supernova special or sit down, whatever it's called. And, ever since then, really haven't heard the guy talk. So it's hard to get behind a champion, when they really don't have a character. But, this match was good. I like how Shaw dominated early on. He got I forget what the submission's called.
Butcher hook.
Yeah, the Butcher's hook. Yeah, he got that on him.
And submission hold, he tapped out right away, too.
Yeah, which was good because, it was smart because you don't want to try to suffer through all this damage and then your arm is completely done for the rest of the other rounds. And also it made Shawn Samuels look good, so he had the dominant, going forward. And I really like, when A-Kid tied it up, that super kick that he hit was, yep. That was legit. Like I said, they lay it in here. This isn't like a thigh slapping Adam Cole, this is, he really hit that super kick in there. So this was good. tied it up. That's what I mean. A-Kid shows the intensity. He shows the legitness. And then it's just, when you get on the mic, it's like, so I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, like the
And
one,
it's
yeah,
like,
exactly. Like the intensity is not there, but not character-wise. He will need to work a little bit more on that. I agree with
but
you.
and the story was then, like I said, A-Kid just, the shoulder, like it's done. But a couple times during the match, I think A-Kid either forgot he was supposed to be selling his shoulder, or if he forgot which one, because he goes to grab the ropes and climb it with the one arm, and then he's like, oh shit, wait, and then he like stops and grabs it with the other arm and climbs up, and it's like, okay, maybe not everybody saw that.
John Paul will like notice.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even notice at all, but like
But
you're right. And remember in the 4th round also like Show Samuels almost like makes him tap. Because he had the Butcher's hug one more time, but then it's like 5 seconds left, and then he was able to like hold for that. So good match, yeah. Like, what do you think about the ending though? A-Kid was able to do like his submission hold. I don't know the name of it, but it's pretty much like the Gargano escape, a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I forget what it's called too, but like you see that the arms there, Shaw Samuels had to verbally, submit to this, which I feel is a little bit more degrading when you have to say I quit or I give up instead of just tapping. So I mean that's like that's why I think it would be a good finish submission, like if he's a heel too. You know what I mean? Like just rub that in the baby faces, in their face and everything. So, but I mean he's a baby face right now, so it is what it is. But I mean it was a good opening match. Like I said, I just want to see a little more out of A-Kid. I don't dislike him, but I want to like him more by him having a character.
Yes, and the only thing I want to ask you, like really quick, like what do you think about like him having like the cup and like is being considered a championship? I don't like that. I need to see the belt.
Oh yeah, well, I believe I said it last week or the week before. Last time we saw A-Kid, like the cup that he has, that should be his, and he can put that above his fireplace. That's legit.
Whatever. Yeah,
and then they give him a Heritage Cup belt, and the belt is what he can defend.
That makes
that would be because it's like he won it, and then I mean I don't know, maybe that would be too crazy because it's like, oh well, Shaw Samuels wins it, then does he get his own cup? Or how does that work? But I don't know. I mean, maybe it would be too complicated to have two things, but they started it now, so they got to stick with it, I guess.
Yes, absolutely right, Paul. So let's go. Like they talk about like the main event. Like they kind of give a lot of history about it, like a lot of like this big rivalry against Joe Coffey and Rampage Brown. So we had a lot of people talking about it. We had the champion Drew McIntyre. We have William Regal talking about this rivalry, saying that this is one of the best rivalries in the UK, and like they've been carrying the the UK like wrestling scene for like a few years already. So like both of them like, so this is legit. Please subscribe to Raw Break. Yeah, like I like that. Don't forget like Elimination Chamber like review with Raw Break.
Yeah, so, and Drew is like, I'm the real WWE champion. Hey, that's right, I wish that's what it said. The real WWE.
That would have been so much better. But you're right. So like they kept going through the history. Rampage Brown saying that it's my time right now. Like I'm not gonna beat you. And then Joe Coffey also showing like his dominance and he's like the last man standing or the king of NXT, right? The NXT UK. That's how he calls himself at. So he
says that it's his kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah. So like really good stuff. This pumped me up. I can tell that this really pumped me up. So like let's go to like the next match, and I know that we love this guy. Like he has a lot of future. So let's go to Ben Carter. He goes against Josh Morrell. Like we see him Morrell also going against, I think it was Shaw Samuels a few weeks ago. So like he's the guy that like he's putting other ones over. He was probably in a few years he will be the one actually like winning matches. But I think Ben Carter, another great showing from this guy.
Oh yeah, this match was really good. This was probably, I mean, all the matches on here, except unfortunately the women's match, which I'll get into, were really good matches. I thought this one, no exception. And just, I like Josh Morrell as well. Like you said, I see a bright future from him, but it's like Ben Carter, he's coming in with all the fanfare, trained by Seth Rollins, compared to Dynamite Kid. So of course, that pops all the UK fans, and, Eddie Guerrero, everybody loves Eddie. So, those comparisons are a lot to live up to, and I think he's good. And like early on, when he was in like a headlock, he did this like weird way to get out of it, like Johnny Saint. So then commentary, like Johnny Saint.
I can't believe he did that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they loved that, and this was just really good. But like I thought Josh Morrell looked good as well. This wasn't like what do you call it? Like an extended squash match where it's like, Ben Carter, like, okay, 3 minutes and done. No, this was a very contested match. Josh Morrell could have easily won it. There was a time where he got sent to the ropes and he goes up for a power bomb. Ben Carter was going to power bomb and he turned it into a Hurricane Rana for a really close near fall. So that's what I mean. Like Josh Morrell, they're doing something with him slowly, but like I said, Ben Carter, he's the hot guy right now. He has all the fanfare, all that stuff. So it's like they're pushing him, and I could easily see him being the one, if it's not Trent Seven, to probably beat Jordan Devlin or maybe even beat a kid, maybe have a rematch, something like that. I definitely think they're going to do right by this kid. He gets the win. I like the kind of twisting suplex he does to set up the frog splash. The frog
really
splash
cool.
to me, I think we talked about this before. He doesn't get the height or anything, but I mean that's fine because when he hits, it looks more impactful because he just kind of like falls down on you instead of getting all this height and then just kind of like bouncing like when RVD did it. I mean, it was beautiful.
Or Montez 4.
Yeah, they bounce off you and then they have to like crawl to make the cover. Where at least Ben Carter, he hits you and it's like boom. He hits you, covers you 1, 2, 3. So this was a really good match, though.
I like it, yeah, and like you said, he has good moves, like the suplex that he turns it is pretty cool.
Mhm.
We'll see what they really do with him because he needs to start like really going into a real feud. Because other than that, yeah, he keeps winning matches and stuff like that. Okay, but I want to see him like going at somebody.
Maybe a feud. I don't know what their plans are with Ilya. And we did see Tyler Bate a little bit, which that might even be the next segment we go into. But
right there, yeah. You want it, we give it to you.
But
so
that would be a good. Yeah, that would be a good feud, I think, for Ben Carter. Do something with one of those guys.
Yeah, but Tyler Bate, remember, he says, he's like, well, how are you enjoying the snowstorm? It's okay. I'm done, like, plowing and all of that, shoveling and all of that. This is all good. Yeah. It's like, and why are you here? Well, I just like to get away. And this is, like, the place where I really can find myself, the best version of myself. So, I'm just here hanging out. And, soon I'll be back. So we get to see a little bit of Tyler Bate. Like you said, I would love to see Tyler Bate against Ben Carter. That's two serious guys and, like, at the same level. Skill, same height, same like build. So like it will be really great to see them.
Yeah.
But now,
I was just gonna say I like this because it wasn't just him talking. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to get out of the hustle and bustle of the PC. I'm just trying to clear my head. And as he's saying all this, you're seeing flashbacks. Boom, he loses to A Kid, but he beat Shaw Samuels. But then it's like, oh, he lost to A Kid. He lost to his student. So I like that because it's just you see what he's thinking. Like they're showing you what he's thinking, what's going through his head, and that's even these backstage segments are treated so much more legit than an NXT, a Raw, a Smackdown.
Yeah, everything is treated a lot better. You're right. So like talking about how you treat a segment, I don't know if you're really happy about the outcome, but let's talk about this press conference. Like we said maybe that's Meiko Satomura and I needs to go right away into title contendership, but actually they did it. So they're going to have a press conference right there, and they ask questions to Kaylee D. They ask questions to Satomura. Legit stuff when they ask in Japanese. That's cool because that really makes them look like a freaking real sport. I love those things. When there's translators, there's so many countries involved. It just enhances the level.
Yeah, and that's and that's what we say all the time. Why can't you just have subtitles? Like we said, Asuka, Kairi Sane, their English, wasn't the best. Io's okay, but it's like, put the subtitles up.
Yeah.
I remember NXT did that years ago when Asuka, first came there and she was the champ. And then, but now it's like, they're just lazy. They don't care. They're like, oh, learn English and, talk in broken English and sound like a goof, which is no offense to them, but that's how they make them. It's like, same with Andrade. Let Andrade talk in Spanish and put up subtitles.
Yeah.
Because then there'll be intensity when he speaks, and you can be, oh man, this guy's serious. But
we mentioned about that. Yes, absolutely right. So like they were asking her, Kylie Ray. She said, I know Kylie Ray is a great wrestler, but there isn't anything she hasn't experienced yet. So like you see Meiko Satomura like really confident of herself. She's like,
I like that because they even said to her too. It's like, well, what's your goal here? And she's like, my goal. And she's like, well, like, look at me. She's like, I say I'm the best. So like you said, I got to come here, prove I'm the best. And, Kaylee Ray says she's the best, but unless you've beaten me in the title match, you can't say you're the best.
Yeah.
And then I like when they go to Kaylee Ray and they ask her and she's like, Watashi wa the longest reigning women's champion, which she's saying I am in Japanese, the longest reigning women's champion.
Is that what it says? Paul, like in his knowledge of the Japanese culture, second time in 2 shows, legit.
So then they look over and they're like, she's like, okay, like I see, like you're speaking my language, like literally and figuratively, like okay, so this is good. And like you said, I love that you have the Japanese, news reporters there, whether they were there or not, actually, whatever, don't matter. You present it that way.
You believe that they were there.
Yeah, and I'm sure there is coverage because, Meiko Satomura is a huge star, and I'm looking forward to this match in 2 weeks. The only thing is
it for you or no? Should have just
a little bit, but I mean, it's in 2 weeks, so there is something next week. I mean, not that that's going to be like a feud or anything. I'm fine with it just because Meiko Satomura is such a big star, and I feel like you have to present her that way. So like I'm not. I guess I'm indifferent to it. I just hope she wins because if she loses, then that is the biggest like.
So
So,
I know.
but I think she'll win, and then if she does win, then we can kind of theorize and guess what they're gonna do with Kaylee Ray. Is she gonna stay here? Is she gonna go to the NXT show? Maybe go after Tony Storm, go after Io, go after all them. Is she gonna go to the main roster? What is she gonna do? Or is she gonna retire? I mean, she is like I don't want to say she's old, but she has had a long career. So who knows?
It's
But I
a
mean,
possibility. So we'll see what
yeah.
happens on that. Like absolutely. So like remember, like Jean Paul said, 2 weeks. Katie Day against Meiko Satomura for the NXT Women's Championship. Pretty good segment, and that's how you present this sports entertainment. If you want to call it that, if you want to call it professional wrestling, that's fine. But this is not how you present sports entertainment or wrestling with Mickey James. No, Aaliyah James, and she has a match with like a girl that like we had a promo from. She's gonna be still. I think she's gonna be pushed. In this couple of weeks, Dani Luna. But like you said, the match quality was not good. Neither one of them could carry the other one, so it looked a little bit sloppy. But despite that, Dani Luna at least she got a little bit of like out of the bat. Like she actually looked a little better. Out of the two, she was the one that looked the best. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, because she was gonna go over. Aaliyah James was trying to use her speed to outmaneuver. Like I believe she did some kind of springboard move. Dani Luna caught her. It was all just like showing off Dani Luna's strength. But the only problem with that is I'll go and reference the match I said that I covered this morning in AEW, Serena Deeb versus Riho. If that would have been Riho versus anybody else, that match wouldn't have been as good. Because Serena Deeb, so many headlocks in that match. She's probably like, Riho, do this, do that, do this. I'm going to do this. Then you do that. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. And it looks good. There was no veteran in this match to carry. Both these women are young, like they said, trying to make a name for themselves, new to the brand, all this stuff, which, it's no offense to them. That's the only way you get experience is by wrestling.
Yes.
But it's like, sometimes it does help to have a veteran in there to call the match. And that's why I think this one was quick. They're like, hey, let's get it in here, showcase Dani Luna. She looks good. And, let's get ready for the main event. But
big power bomb for the win. Big power for the win. And like you said, Serena Deeb is actually, she was working hurt. That's we'll always bring you information. So yeah, she was working. She has a nagging injury. So like you will, at least we gotta praise her because like you said, I saw the match, really cool. I just hate how Riho always wins with like like painful like things. I just hate that. But like you said, Dani Luna, maybe a few more matches she needs. She needs a little bit more, performances, and then we'll see what she can do. But like she needs, for example, like something with these girls. We had a little promo against for the Samuels, also Nina Samuels against like Xia Brookside. Like they're still hyping that match. Maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks. So this rivalry, okay, at least Xia Brookside is going to win this time. Why? Because Nina Samuels won like the past 2 times. So to conclude the feud, then Brookside has to win. Yeah, that's all I can say about this. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole stipulation. Oh, if I beat you, you have to be my butler or servant or whatever for a month. So I mean, we'll see. Maybe that's going to play into an angle, play into something if she wins. But I think, to kind of get Xia Brookside over, like, let's get a new crop of women. Because no offense to, like, the Piper Nivens and everybody. I still like them. But it's like, you have the Dani Luna. You have, Meiko. She's new here. Even though she's not young, she's new. And, Xia Brookside. Like, let's kind of get the new crop over. And also, Eva Valkyrie. Like, let's get them over. So I'm hoping she wins it. But we'll see. I mean, this is definitely interesting. I like the intensity, though, from both women.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So let's keep going into the women's side promo by, like, Ginny and Jesus. No, it's not Jesus. It's not, it looks like Jesus, but, like, Joseph Connor's Jay. Let's call it Jay because he reminds us of, like, the Lord. Or at least the version of the Lord we actually figure that he looks like that. Anyway, that's another topic of theology, but, like, she goes about Piper Niven. She says, hey, like, you've just been in my way. You know where to find me. If you want to go for it, look out for me. You know where to find me. And, like, I think the rivalry continues, but I don't know if it is, like, number one contender. I just don't think that they should be part of the show. I don't know how you feel. But, like, then when Connor's mentioned, oh, Piper, I've been there in your shoes before. I was lost and all of that. But now I finally found somebody that believes in me, and that's Ginny. So, like, you see, like, at least they're still a duo, which is good because at least one can benefit from the other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you had to have an ending to this feud, so I'm fine that they're doing it. I don't know if it'll be a number one contender because both of them just were number one contenders. That's like, I feel if you lose a title match, even though you're still legit, you kind of go back in the, order of when is my next title shot. You kind of go back to the bottom, have to work your way back up. So I don't think it'll be them. I could easily see it being like a Valkyrie, somebody like that. Maybe they'll just do a women's battle royal after Mako wins it, because that's usually what they do when they don't have a clear-cut number one contender. They just give you a battle royal, and whoever it is, whether that's lazy booking or not, I'll let the fans decide. But and obviously that's they might not even do that, but we'll see. But I'm fine with this feud. I think you need to have an end to it. The only tough thing to say is I feel Ginny's got to go over. But I feel like now it's like a loss for Piper. I think you either got to turn her heel or she joins this faction.
Yeah.
And then maybe she can be like the big muscle. You have the leader who's also a good wrestler who's rich. You have, the manservant, and then you have the big muscle and Piper Niven. So we'll see where they
I agree. I mean, then they need to do something with this girl, but I don't know what you can really do with Niven if not putting the championship. They should have put it already, but they have makeup now. So we'll see. Like you said, they have a little booking to do. They have a few ideas to throw in there. So we'll see. No other NXT involved.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say if Shawn Michaels wants to bounce some ideas off me, I'm always available.
Please,
follow us and message us on any of the social media.
Best booker in the business, right there, the social media. So please do that for us. Walter. Let's move on to Walter. We got a little bit of a video package from him. He's about to tie, or he already tied Pete Dunne?
No, he today he passed it. Today
he passed it. Okay, yep. So he passed it Pete Dunne as the longest NXT UK champion, and that's kind of weird. Even they said in commentary that the person that beat you already surpassed you, because they were saying, oh, maybe this record will be broken. Will never be broken and stuff like that. But right away, Walter did it, and you got a video package saying how intense he is, and the man is sacred. Kind of just hyping up Walter, which is good because we haven't seen him. We don't see him. We got to see him once a month, maybe. Don't you think?
Yeah. I was actually just thinking, before I started watching this show, I'm like, we need to see something from Walter. I didn't know it was this close, and to the title reign actually, surpassing it, like we'd mentioned. I didn't know it was reaching that point, but I'm like, we need to see the champion, because I'm fine with not seeing him every week, not overexposing him where he doesn't feel special, but it's almost like he's a ghost. It's almost like, where is he?
Yes.
But this was good to see this. I think we need to see him next week.
And see, I got it for you, Jean-Paul. 686 days.
Yep, 686. Pete Dunne was 685, and I believe Tyler Bate was 187. I believe I read. Don't quote me on the number, but like they said, 3 champions in this brand's entire history. Obviously, there was a big break, when the whole world shut down, you could say, and Walter wasn't really wrestling. Nobody was on this brand. So, but I mean, still 3 champions, and that shows Kaylee, same thing with the women's championship. That only had, I think, 3 champions. I believe it was Rhea, Tony, and Kaylee Ray. So, I mean, they treat the belts legit. Yeah, they treat them legit. They don't hot potato. Everybody has legit title reigns. So this is good. But like I said, we need to see Walter on the show, not just video package, either next week or if 2 weeks. They're doing a super show because you have the tag team match, Mako Satomura and Kaylee Ray. Maybe we see Walter,
Oh, yeah, no. And Jean-Paul, just then the tag team match is next week.
It's next week. Okay,
we're talking about right now, Pretty Deadly going against also the Gallus boys. So they really had a video package from both, featuring both. And like you said, I'm really thinking that is going to be a title switch. I'm really thinking that between these guys and, Gallus, there's going to be the end for these guys, because like you said, I mean, they're tough, but other than that, what can you do with these guys? They really don't have characters. The only person that has characters is Kofi. And, this too.
Yeah, I mean, they really used to. I remember when this thing first started, Wolfgang was legit. I mean, when he was singles, and then they kind of put him in the tag team, and his character kind of went away because they were just like the 2 stooges. And I don't want to use that. I shouldn't use that word. They were the 2 guys behind Joe Coffey. And then it's like Coffey was the one who did all the talking. He was all the personality. And then the other 2, they just stood there like this and just go, Gallus boys on top. And then that's the extent of their character, their promo. We never hear them cut a promo besides, oh, we're the longest reigning tag team champs. Tell us what this means to be tag champs. Tell us what it means to be, the best, on there. But I mean, we'll see. I think, this will be a good match. I don't really know what they're going to do. With Pretty Deadly wins, I'd be fine with it. If they don't, I mean, I guess I have to be fond of it. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is. But I think it'll be a good match.
We just enjoy it. That's what we review it. We love it. But now let's go to the main event. What do you think about this main event? We knew that this was going to be an absolutely great match. See, these guys have the same build. They're around the same height and all of that. As you can see right there, Rampage Brown and Joe Coffey. In the UK, people are calling it a classic already. And this was more instead of a story, it was more intense and stiff. really hard hitting, from both sides. And kind of Kofi got injured somewhere around the match. So I want your thoughts about this.
Yeah, I mean, this was really good. They showed the tail of the tape, like you said, guys like pretty much equal. Rampage Brown a little bit heavier. I believe he was an inch or two taller, so he had a little bit of the advantage. But I mean, both these guys just pretty much, I would say, evenly matched. They were tearing, like they had said earlier in the show, just tearing it up in the independent scene in the UK. Now they're meeting here. The one thing I don't like commentary is like, oh yeah, this match means more than anything, because it's like, I think they had championship matches. So even though that's independent, I think the championship matches mean a little more. But they, of course, they always have to hype up. Oh, you made it to WWE. That's the best. That's the pinnacle and everything. But this was really good match. Just everything, like you said, when it wasn't like a wrestling match like Ben Carter and what was his name? Ben Carter winning. Yeah, Josh Morrell. It wasn't like an athletic contest like that. No, this was, these guys beat each other up. The punches, the kicks, the shoulder tackles, everything they did, it landed. It hit in there. You could feel it just watching it. You're like, man, these guys are beating the hell out of each other. And then, like you said, it was the hand, later on in the match.
This is what happened, Paul, right there. Boom.
Yeah. Like at the end of this match, after just these guys beat each other up, he goes for like the Glasgow send off, because he hit that he hit it onto Rampage, and then he
rolled out, and they were saying, "Oh, he does." I don't know if it's intentionally or not, but like it's a great move because he could have capitalized from that, but he couldn't.
Yeah, and then he tried it again here, to set up the best for the bells. He gets out of the way, boom, that wrist or the hand hits right into the ring steps, and he sold it. See, that's the thing. Why this brand, at least one of the major reasons to me, is so legit. If that was in AEW, by the time he got back into the ring, his hand would have been fully healed.
Yeah, legit,
because they don't sell anything in that show. But here, he sold it. They go in there. He was still, he's still fighting. Joe Coffey, he jumped from the middle rope to the top rope, did a cross body. He looked better than Leon Ruff jumping on the rope. So Leon Ruff takes some notes, and he hit this huge cross body. He got out of it. Dr. Bomb, 1, 2, 3. And I mean, that was the right winner. We said, as good as Joe Coffey is, he had the moment against Walter. He had the title shot. Let's see Rampage Brown. And if anybody's going to dethrone him, Walter, at least right now, it's Rampage Brown. So this was good. Yeah. I like the kind of show of respect. Like, he kind of stuck the hand out. I don't know if he actually shook the hand.
No, but, he actually, for a second, he put it away. He put it away really quick.
Yeah, but I do like this because, they got each other's face. Yeah, and it's like, are they going to start fighting again? What's going on? And I was almost thinking maybe this, when they do like the wide shot and you see the stage, I was thinking maybe Walter was going to come out and stare these guys down, maybe something like that. Like, okay, Rampage, you think you're the best? Nuh-uh, you're not the best unless you got the belt here. So I was hoping for something like that. We didn't see it. That's okay. But Rampage Brown, good winner after a hard-fought match. This was good.
Oh, yeah, good show. I feel that, like, now, like you said, the next step for this guy, Rampage Brown, the winner, Walter. There's no other way. There's no other way. What can you do with this guy? Already went through pretty much the whole NXT, locker room. The big guys and everything, massive. Now Kofi.
Yeah, I mean, the only other person I would say, which it's storyline-wise, this doesn't add up, so I don't want to see them do this. I want to see him go right to Walter. But the only person you could say would be maybe Ilya.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's got to go to Walter because Ilya has his own story and everything, so that wouldn't fit this. So, Walter, I think, has got to be the next match.
Absolutely. So thank you, family, for being with us because this has been a great show. We have keep plugging it in because, like I said, did you see us laughing at any times besides the jokes that we tell to ourselves? No.
Oh, no.
We're serious. No moment.
I mean, the only thing I laugh, but it's like a good laugh, is when Pretty Deadly's like, "Yes, boy."
Oh,
and they do like that. But that's their gimmick. That's funny.
It's not like Omega reading to the children. I mean, I did like that, but they don't need that. Oh yeah, we need to make them laugh. No, you need to just present to me something that is as serious as possible. And that's what they did. So I'm really happy about that. So family, thank you so very much for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. We really love that. We're still growing thanks to you. We want to keep growing to deliver more content for you guys. Only 2 things. Remember, tomorrow we'll be live with Smackdown. Jean-Paul, myself, will be telling about everything that's going to happen over there. Edge, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, a lot of stuff. And on Saturday on Facebook, right there, Robert on Facebook, a great preview, for what is going to be the Elimination Chamber. Jean-Paul and I are going to be talking about all of the history, going back memory lane, talking about the best of the Chamber, all these years about this great match, all the superstars that have gone through it, and also the preview of this 2021 Elimination Chamber. So please be with us. And on YouTube, you'll see, like you said, Jean-Paul Scott of that video. So be with us on that. And where else can they find us?
And like you mentioned, you can find us Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course the home of the #1 podcast, the fastest growing brand in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
So family, we'll see you tomorrow. You and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...